Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm Simone, you're sipping with Simone. Today, I'm gonna be talking about Can't Get Enough by Kennedy Ryan. And honestly, I love this book. Yeah. So, for those of you who are not familiar with Kennedy Ryan and this particular book, Can't Get Enough, is the third book in the Skyland series, and there are three different books, and they each focus on a friend and what they're going through. So the first book focuses on Yasmin. It's called Before I Let Go, and it talks about her and her divorce with Josiah. And then the second book focuses on Soledad, and it's called This Could Be Us. I honestly did not read it. I did not connect with Soledad for some reason, and I've tried. I ordered the book and I've had it for over a year, but it doesn't call for me to pick it up, if that makes sense. And then finally, my girl Hendrix gets a book. Okay, so Hendrix is like this badass talent agent in Atlanta, and she's carefree, she's childless by choice, she's very ambitious, career driven, great friend, just somebody that you will want to be around. And honestly, if Hendrix was a real person, we would be friends. Yeah. Before I actually get into what this book is about, I do want to say, when this book, or if this book is is adapted into a television series, Damson Idris is Maverick Bell, and I don't want to hear what you gotta say about it. Actually, I do. So drop down in the comments and let me know if you think somebody else. Honestly, Damson is the one for me, and if y'all want to tussle, we can. So, in a nutshell, this book is basically about Hendrix, and she meets this tech billionaire Maverick Bell, and their relationship is like, can they be together? Is it wrong for them to be together? Should they be together? Will they be together? So we kind of explore that. The three things that I think this book focuses on, I would say grief, I would say caring for aging parent, and I don't know if I would call this girl code, but just dating code maybe. Basically, would you date your co-worker's ex-boyfriend that they was in love with? So it kind of explores that. So I'm gonna take each theme and I'm gonna expand on it. I'll start with, would you date your co-worker's ex-boo that they was in love with? So when Maverick and Hendrix first meet, they're at a party thrown by Maverick's girlfriend Z. Now Z and Hendrix, they are working together to produce a show for Hendrix' client, who's like a model, and so she's getting her own show. So that's where they meet. Hendrix is on the floor, she's dancing, she's the life of the party, and of course everybody is just like naturally gravitated to her. In the midst of a party, she gets a call from her aunt to let her know, hey, your mom, she's basically not doing well right now. She's having a really bad episode because her mom suffers from Alzheimer's. And so Hendrix kind of calms her down by singing a song to her, and Maverick overhears this, and immediately he's like trying to console her by letting her know, he understands what she's going through, because his grandfather passed from Alzheimer's and his mom was the caregiver. So he actually had like a front row seat to the impacts that it has on caregivers. And so he's like, if you need anything, let me know. Okay. So I would say then maybe either 1 or 3 days later, a press release comes out about Maverick and Z saying that they're no longer together. But we find out that they actually broke up before the party, and because, which I think is so dumb, but because Maverick feels like he has all this reverence and respect for Z, he allows her to throw this last party under their name at his house. They were together for 3 years, and they break up because Maverick doesn't want any kids. Well, any more kids, because he has a daughter and she's like 18, so she's grown. She's out the house, really. And here's my thing. He was with her for 3 years, knowing she wanted kids, and strung her along all that time. So I didn't like that, really. And honestly, while we right here, I'm gonna whack Maverick a little bit, because I don't think he was fair to Z. Also, at the beginning of this book, I will say, after Maverick says, and he's trying to pursue Hendrix, I feel like it didn't give like care. It just gave I want you, if that makes sense. I feel like if a guy's trying to be with you, in addition to showing you that he wants you, he needs to show that he cares about you. And I feel like because he's a billionaire, he was just using his resources to get at her, and it came off very, very lustful to me, right? One instance, Hendrix and a couple of her friends, they have like a business, and it's like a THC business, and he wanted to be an investor, so he invested money in it, and then he allowed them to use his private jet to go tour like a weed farm. And it's just like, thank you for doing this, but I don't know, it came across love bombing to me. So that's kind of where I didn't like Maverick. I actually didn't really like him that much until the end, but we'll get there. Hendrix, I love Hendrix, and really I'm happy that she got her man in the end. But honestly, when I think about the question of would you date your co-workers ex-boo that they was in love with, and girl code, and we kind of discussed this at book club meeting, and some of the, like, we talked about what would we consider girl code. So my definition of girl code is, if I know you or familiar with you or in the same circle, I will let you know, like, if we have a common guy. But a lot of the women were saying, like, girl code, I don't have to explain nothing to you if you're not one of my friends. I don't move like that. And really, I do think that Hendrix should have told Z sooner. And actually, now that I'm processing this to talk to y'all about it, it should have been on Maverick, because he was the one that was with Z. And yeah, Hendrix didn't owe her nothing, but because they work together, and people are petty, like, you can't, what's that saying, don't have your honey where you make your money. I know that Maverick didn't work with her, but his ex-girlfriend did, and to me that is a very sticky situation, because Z did exactly what I expected her to do. And honestly, justice for Z. Well, 80% justice for Z. I liked her until she tried to play Hendrix to act like, because if you read the book, like, Hendrix is thick, big boobs, big butt, just pow, pow, pow. And Hendrix is a skinny petite thing. So I'm sorry, not Hendrix, Z. So Z, when she found out, she was like, you not even his type. if I was Hendrix, all bets would have been off, and I would have been like, now I'm about to show you. So kudos to Hendrix for keeping it professional there, but that is like a messy situation. So that is the only reason why I was so for Hendrix telling her, because Z handled it petty. Like, I mean, I expected her to. And another point that was brought up at book club, it was like, Z should have been mature about it. Y'all expect people to have emotional intelligence? That's where you wrong. I don't expect people to have emotional intelligence, because look how crazy people are. We talk about caregiving for an elderly parent, right? I'm a millennial. Both of my parents, they actually have retired, and they are getting up in age like a lot of other millennial parents. And I feel like they're fine right now where I don't have to take care of them. But I do feel like millennials are now headed to the place where they have to drop everything to take care of their parents. And for Hendrix, I think she had different resources. Like, her aunt moved in with her mom to help her, and then Hendrix works remotely, right? So she was able to, and she basically has her own business. So she was able to pick up, move back to her mom's house to help with everything. And I don't know how someone who's not in that situation, doesn't have the resources, would do it. Like, how do you care for your aging parent when you're in one state, they're in another, and you can't, like, you physically can't be there because you have a life there, you have kids, you have your job. And I know a lot of parents, they do like expect their kids to take care of them in their older years. And even, it's so funny, I've asked elders that I know, like, why did you have children? They're like, to take care of me. But it's like, what if your child doesn't like you? Then what? Like, what are you gonna do? I don't think you should have kids to take care of you. Like, I have a son, but I didn't have him so he can take care of me, and I honestly wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want to be a burden on him. He can roll me in the ditch and live his life. I mean, well, I don't know if I want to roll me in a ditch, but I wouldn't want to be a burden. I do know that. The next point that I want to talk about, we talked about caregiving. We talked about grief. Okay. No, didn't discuss grief. Okay. So, grief. Grief was so heavy, and before I let go, and some of the subject matter, I was just like, dog, this book is really sad. And a lot of it really triggered me, because some of the stuff that they went through, I went through. I didn't go through a divorce, so not that, but the stuff with the baby, I did go through that. But with this book, how it talks about grieving, like Hendrix, she has to grieve her mom, because she had to grieve who her mom was before to how she is now. And it's just like, wow, her mom used to be able to take care of herself. Her mom used to be able to go to church, do all these things. And now, with Alzheimer's, she doesn't even remember stuff. So that was very hard for her. Maverick, he grieves because his mom passed, and that's something that he never got over. And really, I honestly think he used Z to fill that void. And his dad never got over that either, and he said all the time. So actually, Maverick is trying to buy a basketball team for his dad, a team, the Vipers, who he used to work for, to cheer him up. So grief is a very central theme in this book. How do you deal with grief? How do you move? How do you get past it? And honestly, I've dealt with grief, and I don't feel like it's something that you ever get past. You learn how to live with it. You just move. Like, you just have to keep moving and living until you don't have to. Oh, another big thing, which is true for this book, and before I let go, the friendship between Yasmin, Soledad, and Hendrix, top tier. These women stop what they're doing for each other. They're always there. In this book, her friends came to her house to help with her mom. They flew in from Atlanta to help her with that mom. It's like when you have true friends, you gotta hold on to them like you're solid friends, because you don't really get that many. What else? I do think, okay, this is another part. This is actually the part where I was like, oh, Maverick cares about Hendrix. So Hendrix's mom ends up in the hospital because she was having an episode, right? She ends up in the hospital. Maverick flies in from where he's at to be there for her, to help her. And to me, I feel like if you have a partner or a potential partner, that person needs to show up for you. In the beginning, I didn't feel like Maverick was showing up for her. He was, to me, love bombing her. This is how you show up. He just came to her house and was like, whatever you need. And I was just like, a man, this is why Damson Idris should play, because he would play this role so well. I don't know who I would want to play Hendrix right now, but Maverick, I'm sold on Damson. I think he would kill a rom-com. Well, it's not a rom-com, but a romantic movie. And maybe, I don't know, because in book club, everybody took his gestures at the beginning as, oh, he really likes her. I don't like romance books, and honestly, this is the first romance book I've read in like decades. Well, I'm not even that old, but years, maybe, yeah, I would say maybe 1 decade, so like 10 years. But so maybe I just can't see that is romance, but showing up to me signifies romance. And yeah, so I thought this book was great. I gave it a 4. I did give it a 4.5, but it was only because this is a spoiler. Well, I feel like I've been spoiling this the whole time for y'all. Z had a birthday party, and she invited Hendrix and Maverick. They was doing it in a coat closet at Z's house. First of all, the audacity. Like, the audacity. Y'all doing this at this girl birthday party in the closet? Like, have some respect. Have some dignity. Y'all couldn't even go to a hotel? Secondly, Kennedy, what be going through your mind? I was just, when I read it, that part, I just was reading like this. I had to put the book down because I'm like, WTF did I just read? Like, ma'am, you didn't. I just thought that, I was like, no. And then the other reason why I would give it a 4.5 is not because of the book. It was because of the art in the book, which I was confused about. This is Hendrix on the cover. This is Hendrix inside. These people don't look alike. And I think that's why I'm having a hard time placing Hendrix. I don't know who the real Hendrix is. Will the real Hendrix please stand up? But yeah, overall, this book is great. I think that you should read it. Then I think that you should come back down here to my comments and tell me what you thought about it. If you were Z, would you have been petty too. I know I would have. Like, you messing with my man, I'ma cut you where it hurts with your pockets. But at the end of the day, Hendrix got her man. He's a billionaire, so no weapon formed against Hendrix shall prosper. And I love that for my girl. So, yeah, good night.